Today we're diving into a really important topic, and it's really timely, and that's what buyers and sellers should expect and how to respond in a shifting market. Now, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you should do to win in a shifting market, regardless of whether you're the buyer or the seller. Now, if you've been paying attention to real estate here in Blacksburg and across the New River Valley, you've probably noticed that things don't stay the same for very long. And the last few years around here have been incredibly competitive. We're talking low inventory, tons of demand, multiple offers flying around, especially in neighborhoods close to Virginia Tech or other major employers like the hospital systems or even Volvo trucks. But markets always shift. They always do. That's the one constant in real estate. The repeated market cycles. So interest rates rise and fall, job markets and the economy influence demand, and the inventory of homes available for sale ebb and flows. And when the market does start to shift, buyers and sellers have to adjust their strategy. Now, the strategies that worked in a hot seller's market won't necessarily work in a balanced or even a buyer-driven market. Now, whether you're an agent, a buyer, a seller, or an investor, it all comes down to adapting. You've got to move with the market, not against it, to win. So let's start with, what does a shifting market mean? Now, when we say the market is shifting, what we're really saying is that the balance between supply and demand is changing. So in real estate, there are three main types of markets. The first is a seller's market. This is where demand or the need for homes is greater than the supply or the availability of homes for sale. So in this type of market, homes sell very quickly, often with multiple offers, and prices can climb. That's what we saw in the NRV from about 2020 until really mid to late 2023, with sprinkles of a strong seller's market in 2024 and even a little bit in 2025. Now, the second type of market is a buyer's market, and this happens when supply, or the number of homes available for purchase, is greater than the demand or need for homes. So in this type of market, homes sit longer, buyers have more option, and prices stabilize or at times even drop. Historically, the NRV doesn't see an extreme buyer's market because of Virginia Tech, Radford University, and other major employers like Carilion Clinic or Volvo, which keep a steady stream of people moving in. So it insulates us from a lot of what the national headlines spew about a downturning market. But even with that insulation, we still do feel the effects of higher interest rates in a shifting economy. And lastly, the third type of market is a balanced market. This is when the supply and demand are about equal and neither side has a big advantage. Now, a shift is simply a transition between one of these to another. For example, when we move from that hot seller's market into something more balanced or more neutral, that's a shift. And here's the key. Success as a buyer, a seller, an investor doesn't depend on whether the market is good or bad. And that's a huge myth. It just depends on how well you adjust. So first, let's talk about what sellers should expect in a shifting market. For the last few years, many sellers in Blacksburg and Christiansburg have been spoiled in a good way. Homes near Virginia Tech campus or close to major commuter routes or in desirable parts of town were selling in just a few days with multiple offers. Now, even rural homes with acreage, which historically take a little bit longer to sell, were moving quickly because inventory was so tight. But in a shifting market, sellers need to recalibrate. And here's what to expect. First, longer days on market. Instead of homes selling in just 3 days, it might take 3 weeks. And in August 2025 specifically, we saw the average days on market for single family homes in the entire NRV rise up to 44 days. That means it took 44 days from the day that a home was listed for sale until it was under contract with a buyer. Not even closed, but under contract. Now, as a market shifts more towards a buyer's market, that number may grow higher. Number two, next up, sellers should expect for buyers to have more price sensitivity. Buyers in today's market are value conscious. A home price too high in Blacksburg, even in desirable areas, will sit. Pricing based on last spring's comparable sales or the rate of the home's appreciation in value that we saw when interest rates were low, well, it just doesn't fly when rates and affordability have shifted. Number three, there's now a greater emphasis on condition and presentation. So in neighborhoods where multiple homes may be on the market, say townhomes in Christiansburg or single family homes in desirable neighborhoods, condition and presentation matter now more than ever. Buyers buyers are comparing properties against each other, they're comparing the price, and they're comparing the value. Number 4, lastly, negotiations are back. Buyers are now asking for inspections again and asking for seller credits when they discover issues. And they're asking for the seller to help with those closing costs sometimes. So yes, sellers need to be prepared to negotiate, where before, sellers could have kind of a take it or leave it approach, and sellers definitely had the upper hand in negotiations in that hot seller's market that we've been in. So for you sellers out there in a shifting market, what's the smart response here? Well, Gary Keller, founder of Keller Williams Realty, outlined some strategies in his book, Shift. And number 1, you need to price ahead of the market. If prices are softening, you can't price like it's still 2022. For example, if in a particular neighborhood, homes were going up in value each month over the past couple years, but now we've seen them start to level off, well, don't expect to keep pricing your home higher as if they were still climbing rapidly. Instead, price according to the direction in which the home prices are going, not where they have been. Sellers who stay ahead by pricing where the market is moving to will capture those buyers in that market quickly. Number 2, know your motivation and decide what's most important. If you're moving because of a job transfer, or you're downsizing, or you're buying in a different neighborhood, focus on your timeline. Don't let the desire to hold out for yesterday's prices derail you on your plans tomorrow. Number 3, make your home stand out. Now, in the New River Valley, buyers notice details. So a fresh coat of paint, updated kitchens, and a well-landscaped yard will make a big difference, because small improvements matter, especially if you're competing with newer builds in Christiansburg or some of those newer townhomes and single-family homes out off of Price's Fork and Blacksburg. Number 4, stay flexible and be prepared to negotiate. Now, a buyer may ask for a home inspection concession or help with their closing costs, and having some flexibility while still negotiating for your top priorities could mean a smoother and quicker sale. So speaking of shifts, let's shift gears and talk about what buyers should expect in a shifting market. If you've been frustrated losing out on multiple offers in Blacksburg or other parts of the New River Valley, here's where you may finally catch a break, and here's what you can expect. First, more choices. Inventory is opened up compared to the frenzy of 2020 to 2023. You may see several options in Christiansburg or Blacksburg, and you may have time to decide which one you'd like to proceed with. Number 2, less competition. Multiple offer scenarios may still happen from time to time, and it's important to be prepared to present a strong offer when you're in them, but they aren't as automatic as they were before. That's why it's important to work with an agent who has networked well and can read the nuances of a situation and help you act accordingly. For one, to help you from overpaying. Number 3, better negotiating power. Now that there aren't as many multiple offer situations where buyers inherently lose a lot of negotiating power, buyers are winning with offers that have buyer-friendly inspection contingencies and things like that. You can ask for repairs, inspections, even concessions paid by the seller. Now, buyers who remember 2021 are often surprised when they actually learn that they can negotiate again. Number 4, affordability challenges. Because on the flip side, higher interest rates mean your monthly mortgage payment could be bigger even if home prices soften. And that's something we see a lot in conversations with buyers around the New River Valley. Sometimes they qualify for less even if their list prices of homes that they're looking at are leveling out. So how should buyers respond, and how do you play this to your advantage? Well, number 1, get pre-approved first. Rates move, they fluctuate, and that affects your budget. And a pre-approval from a local lender who knows the New River Valley and the best way to structure a mortgage loan to accomplish your unique goals is gold. Number 2, don't try to time the market. If you're moving here for a position at Virginia Tech or relocating for work with Radford University or Carilion, the best time to buy is when you need a home, not when rates finally drop or when supply is at its highest. Long term, the New River Valley has a history of strong appreciation, so for that reason, it's better to buy now and wait than it is to wait to buy when prices are higher, if you really are in a situation where you need a home and home ownership would benefit you. Number 3, negotiate wisely. So ask for those repairs or credits, but don't nitpick every tiny issue. So focus on the things that protect your investment and your monthly affordability, but be aware that sellers still may have these lofty expectations because they remember those past markets. So they're really sensitive right now to being nitpicked. Number 4, think beyond price. For example, instead of pushing for $10,000 off the purchase price, consider asking the seller to contribute that amount towards a rate buy down so your interest rate is lower and your monthly payment is far lower as well. All right, again, let's shift gears and talk about the mindset of opportunity in these markets, because here's the truth. Every market has opportunity. It's not about whether a market is good or bad. It's all about how you approach it. So for sellers in the NRV, opportunity comes from pricing strategically, making your home shine better than the rest, and getting in front of the most eyes possible while staying flexible. Now, for buyers, the opportunity is in having more homes to choose from, less competition, and the ability to negotiate a bit more strategically and in a way that the seller still feels like they're winning. Now, the buyers and sellers who struggle in these shifting markets that we're currently in are those who are using last year's playbook. A seller in Blacksburg who insists on listing their home for $700,000 when the market says it's worth $650,000. Well, that home will sit and it'll likely sell for less than that $650,000 figure in the example. And a buyer who still thinks they have to bid up and waive every inspection to win, well, they'll end up overpaying and taking on unnecessary risk. So the winners are the ones who adapt. So some final thoughts. What should buyers and sellers expect in a shifting market here in Blacksburg and across the New River Valley? Well, expect that homes won't fly off the shelf overnight anymore. Expect buyers to care more about condition and value. Expect to negotiate again, even after you're under contract. And expect that with the right strategy, you can still win whether you're buying or selling. If you're a seller, focus on motivation. Price ahead of the market, be flexible. If you're a buyer, focus on affordability. Don't get stuck trying to time the market, and talk with me about how to negotiate the best possible deal, which is a whole nother set of strategies in itself. And above all, remember that the New River Valley market is unique. It's very different from other parts of the country. With Virginia Tech, Radford, Carilion, and Volvo driving steady housing demand, we tend to not see the extreme highs and lows that those other markets do. And that's good news. It means that with the right guidance, you can achieve your real estate goals here no matter what stage of the market we're in. As always, it would be my honor to help you navigate a shifting market here in the New River Valley. So if you're considering a move within or to Blacksburg in the New River Valley, please reach out to me directly. My cell phone number and email address are on the screen, and I would love to chat with you about what relocating to and living in Blacksburg in the New River Valley could look like for you. And please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out, and it helps you continue to follow along about all things living in Blacksburg and the New River Valley. I look forward to helping you win with real estate here in the NRV. Thanks so much.